The following program is a 20 East Media Network LLC presentation. Please hit the like button and enjoy the show. Thank you.
This is The Truth, and this is 20 East Media Network LLC production. All rights reserved. Welcome. Respect to you new, respect to anybody that gonna come in. I'm just gonna do a little history lesson today. I'm just gonna do a little history lesson today. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do today. A little history lesson. So just what I'm gonna do. It is history lesson day. Okay. Let me do that. It's a little history lesson day. So just what it is about Tunis Campbell Sr., more accurately Reverend Campbell Sr. He was born on April 1st, 1812, and he passed away December 4th, 1891. Called the oldest and best known clergyman in the African Methodist Church. He served as a voter registration organizer, justice of the peace, a delegate to Georgia Constitutional Convention of 1867 to 1868, and is a Georgia State Senator during the Reconstruction era. Okay. He also put up says an autobiography, Suffering of the Reverend T.G. Campbell and his family in Georgia in 1877. An African American, he was a major figure in Reconstruction in Georgia. He reportedly had a 400-person militia to protect him from the Triple K, like Governor Rufus Bullock. He eventually had to flee the state to save his life. See, this is the kind of history our kids do not learn in school. This is the type of history that we should be teaching each other. This is the kind of history that we should be teaching our children right here. So I want to know in the comment or in the chat, if you're in the chat, Let me know if you ever heard this man. Look him up. Tunis Campbell Sr. Have you ever heard of him? Okay. I'm going to his biography now. Born in Middlebrook, New Jersey, Mr. Campbell, Reverend Campbell, was one of the 10 siblings, the son of a blacksmith. At the age of 5, he was taken in charge by a white man who sent him to what he later described as a Episcopal boarding school in Babylon, Long Island, New York. He was the only black student there. It was part of the first Presbyterian Church of Babylon. The sender was likely a member of Presbyterian Church at Bound Brook, another of the oldest Scottish Presbyterian congregation in the United States. See, this is some history we need to know, right? This is some of the history we need to know. This is kind of a story that needs to be told. Because I know I'm not going to get that many people in the chat to listen to this. I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of people to listen to the playback. But I want to give a whole lot of some history, some stories from our community to help realize what some people went through back then. Okay. There he remained until he was 18, respect Sharonda Williams. He then became a Methodist and turned down an invitation to go to Africa as a missionary. He began his career as an abolitionist and anti-colonization lecturer and Methodist and temperance preacher. In 1832, he set up an anti-colonizer society in Brooklyn. He was several times mobbed and once was nearly killed. See what this man had to go through? He had to go through because he's not going to go to way they want him to do. Okay? Waiter in New York. He was a head waiter. He was a waiter in New York, right? Campbell was the principal waiter at the Howard Hotel in New York City for some time, at least from 1842 to 1845. He later wrote a well-regarded 1848 guide to hotel management. It was called Hotel Keepers, Head Waiters, and Housekeepers Guide, 1848. One of the earliest hospitality books by any African American. Let that sink in. He was writing books back then. And I don't want nobody to say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that today. But look what some of these folks back then had to go through to do what they did. They did it. Why can't we do it? Why can't we do something that raised our community up? Look what time it was, 1800s. Almost 1850. At the same time, Campbell was active in establishing colored children, which they would call colored children back then, in New York. The city of Brooklyn, New York, the village of Williamsburg, New York, part of the borough of Brooklyn since 1898, and Jersey City, New Jersey. He insisted fugitive slave whenever possible. He received a contract to raise 4,000 United States colored troops. That's when the Civil War about to kick off. That's when he got the 4,000 colored people, black people, to join the military to help the North to fight the South. See, they went to him because it seemed like he was the only one they would listen to. Right? So, yeah, there's some that didn't fight. Yeah, there's some had their own choices. But there's some that fought for what they wanted in their life. And he was one of them. Military governor of Georgia, Sea Island. In March 1865, he was sent as military governor to the Sea Island of Georgia, also Bay, Colonels, St. Catharines, and Sapelo Island. During 2 years, he established schools and government. When Georgia planted through pardon from President Andrew Johnson, regained the island in 1866, expelling the black farmers, Campbell bought 1,250 acres of Belleville in McIntosh County, Georgia, where he established an association of black landowners to own parcel. Effectively, he established colonies on these islands. So he established a community of just black people. Had their own bank, churches, schools, you name it. They had their own thing back then, which he established. What would happen? Look what would happen if we would get together and somebody established that in this day and age. Then there'd be some kind of jealousy. There'd be some kind of jealousy among our people, ourselves. See, nobody want to hear this story. Nobody want to hear this story. Nobody want to hear this story of this black man who did things and came and respect bronze and did what he did to help our people in the 1800s, right? A Georgia politician, that's what he was. In 1867, to help freemen vote, Campbell was appointed to the Board of Registration in Georgia. He and another black registrar were poisoned. The other registrar died, according to Campbell. He joined Georgia Educational Association, a launching pad for several black politicians' careers in the Reconstruction era. He was elected state senator in Georgia in 1868. He also campaigned for his son, Junior, to be a state representative. Think about it. He was a state senator in Georgia, and his son was a state representative in Georgia. Now, all these people running around here, oh, I can't do that, I can't do it. There ain't no such thing, you can't. And this happened in 1868. Tell me why you cannot do nothing in this day and age. They had it worse than we had it back. They had it worse back then than we got now. So you trying to tell me it's much harder to do something these days, this time and era, than it was back then. But you got to have a mind for it. You got to be strong for it to do it. Do you hear what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you know what I'm talking about, you hear what I'm talking about. Put kind of in the chat, okay? All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Both won only to be expelled from office because a majority of white Georgia legislature agreed that even though blacks had the right to vote, the Georgia Constitution prohibited them from holding office. Just think about it. The Georgia Constitution said blacks couldn't hold office back then. Although his son won a state representative election and he won the Senate election, they weren't allowed to hold office back then. But they won. And they want to do something right for the people. But the Georgia Constitution back then didn't allow for that. And I'm getting tired of people saying, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, you can if you put your mind to it, because they did it. They did it. Okay. Campbell Sr. was able to office in 1871, but lost a bid for re-election in 1872. During his time as state senator, Campbell served on the Senate's Petition and General Education Committee. His post legislation work at Justice of the Peace erased former slave owners, a black with authority over whites. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I don't care white, black, brown, green, purple, whatever. If you jealous of somebody that got more than you and more power than you, you're gonna be jealous of that person, right? They was jealous of that person because he had power over the whites back then. He had power over the white, had authority over whites. Okay, what they say about what went on back then, but look what time it was. And there's some people, there's some of our folks that's in power don't know how to use the power that they have. They can use the power to change a situation, but they don't want to. Okay, Campbell would be in, indicted on multiple charges in the mid 1870s, largely trumped up by those who saw the opportunity to finally oust him from the Georgia largely trumped up by those who saw the opportunity to finally oust him from the Georgia political arena, which was a judicial lynching. They didn't like that. They didn't like how he was moving. They wouldn't like how he was gaining traction with color folks, as they called them back then. They didn't like how he was organizing the people back then for their rights. So, let's continue. He served hard labor on a Georgia prison chain gang. When released, he left Georgia for good. He published in 1877 a pamphlet about his experience suffering of Reverend T.G. Campbell and his family in Georgia. See, I just want to come on here and give a little history lesson. Right? I just want to give a little history lesson. They want to say, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that because of this right here. This is what's stopping us. That's a lie. If he could do that back in the 1800, 1700, whatever, what year, 1868, 1848, the year he was there, we can do anything we want to do in this day and age. Just got to put your mind to it, right? Got to put your mind to it. Got to put your mind to it. When we don't put our mind to doing something that we want to do, we tend to blame others for it. We tend to blame other people for our misguidance, our missed opportunities. When you punch your finger at somebody else for your missed opportunity, no, it ain't the other person's fault that you missed that opportunity. It's your own doggone fault that you missed that opportunity. He did not miss his opportunity. He wrote books. He was a reverend. He was a senator. He built a town in Georgia, McIntosh County, Georgia, which is in the South Georgia. And think how bad it was back then when he did that, when he did what he did. Then he got sent to prison. They even tried to pardon him to keep him from doing what he was doing. But what's stopping our community doing what we're supposed to be doing? What is stopping each individual man and woman from doing what they're doing? Is it the other person? Is the government? No, it's your own fault that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because nobody can stop you from doing what you want to do. Only person that can stop you doing what you want to do is yourself. If you don't have the mind to do what you want to do, guess what? You can't blame nobody on nobody but yourself. You cannot blame it on nobody but yourself. Okay? Can't blame it nobody but yourself. See, he was the highest ranking and more influential African American politician in the 19th century, Georgia. Born on April 1st, 1812. You know that he was born in Middlebrook, New Jersey. He was the eighth of 10 children of three black parents. From ages 5 to 18, he attended otherwise all white Espocolus school in Babylon. We know all of that. Well, he was trained for missionary service with American Colonization Society's program or transport African Americans to Liberal. Upon graduation, with coincided with the onset of the Second Great Awakening and the rise of William Lord Garrison abolished newspaper, the Libertarian. Cameron joined the Methodist Church and threw himself into an evangelical uplift. 832, he founded Anti-Colonization Society and pledged never to leave this country until every slave was free on American soil. Are we still free? No, we're not free. We might seem like we're free. We're never free. See, it said while he preached against slavery and established schools, Cameron worked as a hotel steward in New York City and Boston, right? Which his book, I told you what the name of the book was. Hotel keepers, head waiters, and housekeepers guide provide particular information for supervising and running a first-class hotel. But the book is more valuable for its instruction in interracial social skills. It insists that manager recognize the dignity of labor, and it emphasizes on the need for workers to be educated, well paid, prompt, clean, and competitive. White employer described Campbell as a man disposed to elevate the condition and character of a person of his color. But think about it, some people of our community, they got that. Some of them doesn't. Some people in other communities, they got that, but some doesn't. Some doesn't. Before the Civil War, 1861 to 65, he actively participated in the colored convention movement and often shared the stage with the writer and abolitionist Frederick Douglass. By 1861, Campbell was married, had three children, and was a co-partner in a New York bakery. In 1863, U.S. Secretary of War Edwin Stanton commissioned the 51-year-old Campbell to work in Port Royal, South Carolina, where freed people were gathering under the protection of the United States military. After Union General William T. Sherman captured Savannah in December 1864 on his march to the sea, and Carter set up the Freedmen's Bureau in March 1865, Campbell was appointed to supervise land claims and resettlement of 5 Georgia islands. Georgia planters who received pardon from the U.S. President Andrew Johnson regained control of these islands in 1866. Campbell quickly purchased 1,250 acres at Belleville in McIntosh County, and there established an association of black landowners to divide the parcel and profit from the land. So you see what was going on. He did all this stuff with slavery when blacks weren't allowed to do a whole lot of stuff. I don't want to hear nobody say, I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't want to hear nobody say that person did this person did that. What did you do to get your start? What did you do to rise above people saying you can't do nothing? What did you do to rise above the community, try to hold you down? What had you done? Like I said, he led them. He was the beacon of light back then to them people. But he only can lead them so much. It's up to them to build on what he has started. See, somebody can hold your hand to lead you to where you got to go, but guess what? Eventually, the hand that's holding you, that leading you to that place, you got to let go of that hand. You got to start learning how to walk on your own. And you can't say, this person did this. Oh, I couldn't do it because this person. No, you can't say that. You can't say that. If you want to know who this man was, go look him up. Tunis Campbell Sr. Go look him up. I wasn't going to be on this long. I just wanted to give a little history lesson, which it doesn't take that long. Like I always said, love and respect yourself. Because when you love and respect yourself, you can see through all the BS. Self-love is the best love. Who can love you better than you love yourself? Because only you can love you like you need to be loved. Peace. I'm out.
This has been a 20 East Media Network LLC special presentation. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Thanks for coming. Now you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. See ya.
This is The Truth, and this is 20 East Media Network LLC production. All rights reserved.